What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be doing something fun here, just gaining ourselves a whole bunch of power level. So as you can see, we are going to take down the Supreme Kai's Grand Guidance event here. We've got quite a few characters to get through, yeah, this is basically the list of all of the characters that we've got here. Oops, that's just the URs. This is the list of all of the characters that we have here, whose links are all at level 9 and above. So every single unit in this box is basically fully ready to go, with all of these level 9 links on them. Some of these units are transforming units, so they have more 9s than you're seeing here as I do a quick scroll through, because they will have some more, extra links on their transform version of their, part of their card. So yeah, lots and lots of links to get all the way to 10 here. Very, very exciting stuff. We have also, we're going to get a massive jump in power level when we do this. So right now we're at 24.79. So getting close to that 25 million mark. I am almost 100% sure that by the time we're done with all of these 9s in the video today, that we're going to be over 25 for sure. I'm just curious how far over 25 we're going to be. That's going to be the real question. Just because, as far as like looking at the power level leaderboard, the next person that's above me is still Truth, and he is about 1 million above me right now. So we will see how kind of close to his power level I can achieve in this video. But yeah, I don't know. Here, let me add an item really quick. Just because we do have some really, really fodder teams, I want to make sure that we're going to be able to actually finish off the enemies every turn. I know they basically have like no HP, but still, just want to make sure. Because you do have to fight a lot of enemies in this phase, right? That is kind of the one annoying thing about this event, is that it's never super quick to run. Especially for me nowadays, just because I have so many bad units in my box that I work on link leveling, right? Like, most of these units here are never something you would use on a team. And even the ones that appear like they are a main copy of a unit that you would use on a team, they're probably not. It's probably like an uneasy aid TUR or something that you're seeing that's actually just like a duplicate copy. A lot of these units don't have hidden potential system investment in them. Different things like that. And then, obviously, the most glaring part of it is the fact that no one's really on a leader skill. Whenever I do these 9s runs, I just don't bother, like, building real teams with real leader skills. It's been so long since I had enough units that have real leader skills to be able to do that with anyway. But yeah, that does get mighty tough. So yeah, the Hercule Booze, that's one example of a unit that does transform there, so you'll see those extra links pop, as well as the Vegeta and Krillin. They have got those as well. So the two of those units are going to be providing kind of a pretty massive amount of power level for us, just because they both do have 13 links as opposed to the average or normal 7. So with way more links available to them, it was a lot more often that once, while link leveling those cards, when we got them to all 9s, they had, 7, 8, 9 links at level 9 rather than just like, 4 or 5, something like that. So we are going to be getting a lot of power level from them. Oh yeah, and then I guess for those of you that may be curious about it, okay, so that was 1. We're going to have to count them. 1, this is 2. Just want to make sure I don't accidentally use the same team twice. I have all of the teams pre-built, but we've got about 12 of them to do. But yeah, I had to wait until today to be able to do this, because it is October 1st, which means that the monthly purchasable packs in the Pilaf's Trove have reset. So I was able to purchase another bout of these keys, get myself 20 more, because I actually, so there's 86 units sitting in the box there that are at 9s, and I previously only had 60 keys, which would have been enough to do 72 units out of the 86. So in order to get that last little bunch included in there, I had to wait until the turn of the month, which fortunately was only in a couple of days from when I had decided I wanted to do this, initially. So I didn't have to wait that long. But we did pick up the keys, and then now we're able to get through all of this. So yeah, I guess another like little bit of interesting news. I'm not really focusing on it too heavily in this video, because this is kind of a preamble video that needs to be made in order for me to make this next video. But this is the last of it. I don't have any characters left in my box to link level. Now, I do have, you know, duplicates of, like, the Vegeta and Krillin and then the Hercule Buu and stuff, because I do plan to fill up my box space, you know, and continue on link leveling just by getting those duplicates of cards I've already got. But as far as all the individual copies of things, filling out the one in every slot for all of these characters, I've got all of those link leveled. The last bit of them is right here on 9s. So once we're done with this today, like, every single character in my box virtually is link leveled, which will be really, really exciting. But I'm obviously going to make that its own video of us, you know, showing off the entire box completed and stuff. So, yeah, you just have to stay tuned for that one. But that is basically what's going on here right now, right? So yeah, it was a little bit nerve-wracking. Oh gosh, I need to double check. I'm blabbering too much and I'm not paying close enough attention to the screen. And because the amount of keys that we have is so close to the number of units we have to awaken, as far as, like, you know, how many runs we could do on this, if I were to screw up and rerun with characters and lose 5 keys, I might not even have enough to finish these. I think I have enough to do 96 characters, so yeah, I could screw up 1 run. And then beyond that, I actually wouldn't have enough keys to finish this. So, you know, that could be a little bit problematic. But yeah, so maybe a couple of you have caught on to the fact I said I have 86 units here, which unfortunately is not divisible by 6, so it will not be an even clean sweep for us to do a 6-unit run, you know, to be able to finish off those last couple of units. So what I'm probably going to do with those last 2 units that'll be, you know, sitting there remainder after all of this is over. Oh, we only got 2 links there. I'll explain that as well. Yeah, like well, okay, 4 would have been the minimum. It makes sense that he'd be here. But yeah, that other one that we just got 2 links for, I can explain exactly why that happened. But, oh my goodness, what was I even saying? I cut myself off and I completely lost my train of thought. I'll probably come back to that thought in a minute if I remember it. But yeah, so the reason why he only had 2 links is because I was working on... Oh, actually, these points go hand in hand. This is exactly what I was going to say. So I was finishing link leveling during Dokkan Day. You know, like yesterday. I was grinding that as much as I possibly could. You know, attempting to finish up the characters. When Dokkan Day started for me, I was at about 15-ish characters left, 18 characters left, something like that. And I suppose we can leave that. They're all Earthbred fighters still anyway. Okay, so yeah, that's actually a nice thing, because we did so much Earthbred fighters link leveling towards the end. There's a lot of 9s, because I did the Yamcha team strat for a while when I had like a couple hundred characters left. So most of my 9s are sitting as Earthbred fighters, which is actually going to help the speed of these runs a little bit if we're getting to use the Yamcha active, right? So that's kind of convenient. The other thing I just thought about is we could, because we're not really dealing with leader skills and we're not really like in danger of dying from these enemies or anything, I wonder if it'd be worthwhile for us to just bring a Piccolo Jr. friend on each of these runs so that he can just launch his AoE and be done with it. We'll try that on the next one. I think that's probably a good idea. But I mean, Yamcha isn't taking that much longer himself between the active skill, dodging the attacks up front, and then just doing multiple supers. Like, at least he took care of it in 1 turn, right? That makes things a little bit easier. But yeah, so towards the end of Dokkan Day, when we only had a little bit of time left to grind, I was down to my last character, basically. I had like 1 or 2 characters left. One of them was an AGL Pycon SSR. So the thing, a little bit of a blunder that I made when I was going through the last of the characters in my box is I had multiple, like most of the 18 characters that I showed off in my you know, Dokkan Day video were already partially link leveled, already mostly link leveled, like at level 7, 8, 9 links, stuff like that. Some of them were like mostly 10s with a couple of 9s left and stuff. That was just obviously like residual from times in the past where, you know, I was grinding like Training in the Clouds or something, and then the event went away. And after it went away, you know, we only had, like, I didn't finish whatever units were on the team, and so then I go on to a new event, back to the regular quest mode, build a different link level team, and then that unit that was almost done just sits in my box forever. So, Situations like that have happened a lot over time, so it did kind of work out that that last little chunk I had to do, it wasn't like starting from scratch on all those units. However, I did not pay close enough attention, and unfortunately, that AGL SSR PyCon, he's actually on the team right now. That AGL SSR PyCon was, he was at all ones. And he was the last unit that I put on the team, which was a really bad idea, because had I gotten all the, all ones characters out of the way early, then it would have been a situation of, I have, let's say, 7 characters left to link level, so my whole team plus 1 in the box. If that 1 in the box only had like a couple of level 9s left to be, finished to level 10, then it would have been a lot easier, because once I got one character done, I could throw him on the team, and then we'd still be almost all the way done with every character, right? Well, unfortunately for us, that PyCon was at all ones. So while I'm sitting here grinding up the last of the level 9 links, level 8 links, getting them all the way finished up on these last couple of characters, he had to do his entire route of stuff. And then on top of that, what was even more annoying is after we got him, by the time the event had gone away, I had no characters left to link level except for him. I finished all the other ones, and he was at 1-8 and 2 level 9s. Then I went back, once he was at the 8 and the 2 level 9s, I went back to the quest mode. I started, grinding again and again, because what I was originally thinking was, oh, no sweat off my back. The, if I'm not able to finish any of these characters within the time frame of the event being live, I can just instead use keys on them or something, right? Or not keys, because obviously I was planning to do this for these characters, but I can use the link skill orbs for any units that haven't finished yet by the time the event's over. Oh wait, I completely forgot we were going to try the Piccolo Juniors. Let's do that. But yeah, so I was thinking like, okay, yeah, that would be a smart, cool, and good idea for us to do that, right? Yeah, but I didn't factor in the part where PyCon is in his SSR form, which means he is not eligible to use the link skill orbs. So here I am sitting here about to record this video and then record like some of the other ones that I have coming up for, that I have slated to make once I'm finished with the whole link leveling thing. I was like, perfect, we'll just feed in some orbs to him, be done with it. And then I realized, oh no, I can't do that. So I'm actually forced to link level him. So I continued to link level, and it took another maybe 6 hours-ish of link leveling just to get both of those 9s to pop to 10, and that link that was at level 8 to go up to 9. And then, as you saw in the last run, he only leveled up 1 link from 9 to 10 because that was what he had left, was that 1 link. I grinded all night long. All night long, dude. Like, it was unfortunate because I did have work in the evening. So I was grinding Dokkan Day all day. I had to take a break in the evening while I was at work, and by the time I was off work, the event was gone, because it was late enough in the evening, right? So, I didn't get, like, a full bout of, of grinding on the, Chamber of Spirit and Time event. That would have been very helpful. I probably would have been able to finish during the event period if I didn't have that work shift, but it's alright, not a huge deal, because then we just went back to the quest mode to continue grinding. But then, like I said, we did that all night long. All night long. I was up until, like, 7 in the morning, grinding, and that link never popped. I never got that level 9 link to go to 10. And so what I was thinking, what I came up with hours and hours later after that was, oh yeah, I could just throw PyCon on 9s. Now that that 8 link went up to 9, I can just throw him on 9s, and then take one of the UR units that was on 9s and just feed in link skill orbs to them instead. I was like, oh shoot, I didn't need to do any of this grinding. I actually had a loophole, a way around it, and I was just too brain dead or hyper focused to figure out what the right answer there was. So that was basically what we ended up doing. So I realized that at like 7 in the morning, which is why I ultimately just went to bed. And I was like, okay, we'll deal with this tomorrow. I'm done with the grind. We're done with this freaking PyCon, like, no big deal. So, but I say all that to say, while I was grinding PyCon's last link out, and I had, realized that, like, oh, I could do this whole swap thing with the other characters on the 9s, I also knew I had 2 extra characters that weren't going to fit on the teams for, in the 9s box there. So while I was link leveling that last link for PyCon, I was also link leveling a whole team worth of characters that were in the 9s box. So one of them would have been that Hercule Boo, which is why you saw him only get 2 links, because this is one of those characters that was popping a couple of links while I was grinding for that last link on PyCon. Oof, that was a really long-winded explanation for such a basic thing. But that's alright. We've got to fill the video with tons of banter here. This is the one that we just did, right? Okay, yeah, that's the team we just did, and then I think this is the one we're on. Okay, yeah. Perfect. Go. We do have a few teams left, so it looks like we've got these 3 teams at the end here, and then I think it's like, what, 3 or 4 more on the other side? I can't remember exactly how many it is. But yeah, we got about 5 runs left or something like that before we are finished here. Okay, perfect. The Piccolo Jr. coming in nice. This was actually my link leveling strat that I was using on the for, you know, all of Dokkan Day, because you're facing off against 2 enemies in the Chamber of Spirit and Time, so you could just use Piccolo Jr. And with the random grab bag of characters that I had left, there was not enough cohesiveness between any of them to build, like, a real team with a real leader skill. So what I ended up doing, just because ultimately this would be the fastest strategy as well, is to use Piccolo Jr. I just threw Piccolo Jr. as my lead, filtered for the Piccolo Jr. friend lead, and then just threw whatever random characters I wanted on the team. So then basically you go into battle, if Piccolo Jr. is there, easy free KO like we just got right now. If he's not there, then if you're paying attention, you can use the Ghost Usher real quick so that no one dies, and because all the units are off leader skill, none of them are going to super attack, so it'll be 3 quick normal attacks, and then you move on to the next rotation where Piccolo Jr. destroys it all anyway. You're still getting minute-long clears, as opposed to like a 30-second clear that you would get if he was on turn 1. And then, yeah, so I don't know, it's just pretty easy stuff. And then worst case, you don't end up noticing, you know, that there's no Piccolo Jr. on rotation because you're probably autoing or grinding, like, whatever else. Let's see, right here. And then, yeah, chances are you're going to take a lot of damage, especially if you're, you know, farming characters like this that are really weak and they're unawakened SSR forms and stuff. Especially we did have some SRs left as well, right? That were filling in spots on the team. So they would definitely take a lot of damage from the enemies. You didn't always get KO'd, though. I would say I got KO'd maybe like 10 times yesterday out of the hundreds of runs I did, so not too terrible. But then I did kind of rinse and repeat that same strategy. Instead of going back to stage 38-7, where you're fighting against Cooler, which is like the main thing that we had normally been doing for link leveling over these last few months, I decided with this last little team here to just go straight into 35-6 and then continue with the Piccolo Jr. strat. Is you can't use the Piccolo Jr. strat on 38-7, there's only 1 enemy. So in order to do a 1 enemy KO, like active skill thing, you would have to use the Yamcha strat. I suppose you could also use Omega, but I don't have him. And you could use World Tournament TN, but I don't have him. And you could use Mercenary Tau, but I don't have him. All of those units have potential for a turn 1 active skill attack, and I don't have any of them. So I'm literally stuck with still just Yamcha or Piccolo Jr. So if you can't build a full Earthbred Fighters build to activate Yamcha's active, then your only other option is Piccolo Jr. at that point, right? So that's why we opted to do that with Pic Jr. And just go into 35-6. That helped out for a couple of reasons. One, because we had all these really weak units. We weren't having to wait through multiple super attacks. Oops, getting some cord issues here. Sorry about that. We'll wait for the reconnect before we do anything major. But yeah, it would have just taken quite a while to sit there for, you know, 2 turns of attacks or super attacks or whatever on these really weak units to get through the Cooler phase. When I was running those stages in later times, it was like minute and 40-second clears. It was really bad, really bad. I think we're all the way at the last one now. Yeah, we just did that, and then now we have this one. I'm like not paying close enough attention. Okay, perfect. But yeah, when you go into 35-6, because you get that Piccolo Jr. active skill right away, the clears are so much quicker. So not only are the clears quicker, but also the link level rate is higher. 35-6 has always had a higher link level rate. And honestly, after using this strat that I am using now, so historically, for the longest time, I would only use Piccolo Jr. as my leader if the full team was under his leader skill, right? Historically, that was a lot easier to do when we had less leaders in the game before the 220% meta started, because the friend lead that it would be suggesting to you would just be a 200% lead. And it was a funky enough leader skill with giant form and gifted warriors included on there that if you sparsed out characters that were only on giant form and weren't on terrifying conquerors, like you'd pick Team Bardock characters or something like that. Oh no, more cord issues. Ugh. This happens so much when my PC first wakes up. This is the first video I'm recording today. My PC woke up like an hour ago, so it's struggling. That seems to be a common trend. Should go away soon, I hope. Okay, let's see here. I think we've got to go on to the new set of them now. Yeah, so we've got this one, that one, and I believe that is the last one. Yeah, that's a real team. Okay, so we've got 4 left. We're almost there. Cool. Oh no, the cord again. Please rejoin in time. There we go. But yeah, so you know, it was nice because if you were to sparse your team out that way with the right, you know, dispersion of his categories from his leader skill, then it would auto-populate a Piccolo Jr. as your friend lead too. So I did that for a long time. I had a couple of years there where that was like the main strat, was just to focus on link leveling characters on his team so that it would auto-populate the friend lead, and then you just run the stages over and over and over and over, and you don't have to waste the time readjusting your friend lead every time. You could just straight up attempt again and go back in. So that was when link leveling was at its prime, at its fastest ever. And then came a day where I finished link leveling every unit that was on his team, on his leader skill. So I didn't have that same, like, luxury anymore to be able to do that, and so I just kind of shied away from the strategy. Knowing what I know now, that was probably a bad idea. I think it still would have been wise, because at the time, even though all the units on his team were done, I still had a lot of units in the box that were not, like, crap units and stuff, right? There were still a lot of, like, TURs and things like that to link level. Oh, I almost redid the same team. Oh no. Holy moly, that could have been bad. That was the one. Oh, right, we're on 3. I was like, wait, what? Where's the team? Wait, hold on. Did I just read? I think I did just... Did I screw up? Oh my goodness. Well, you guys will know watching if I did. Because this is the team from previous clear, but this is the team that's the first one on the next page, right? Oh gosh, okay, hold on. So obviously the team from previous clear is finished. Okay, and then let's see. Okay, yeah, this one's not. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 teams left and 5 runs. Oh my goodness, okay. So maybe we didn't mess up? I'm so lost right now. We're just gonna run it like this, just to make sure. This is the team we need. Okay, let's send it. Oh my goodness. I should have been a little bit more organized with naming the teams. I did consider making that a thing before I started up the video here, but I was like, nah, I already spent enough time putting all these units on the teams. Typically what I do when I do these runs off camera, oops, let's go ahead and Ghost Usher this one out. Typically what I do when I do these off camera is I just build one team at a time, and then I go back in to attempt it again, and then it shows you the team from previous clear, which gives me a highlight of the 6 units that I just worked on, so then I can just go in, edit the team, and then inside the box, I'll see those 6 units lit up because they're currently selected to be active, like, members of the team build, and then I'll move them off the 9's box to wherever they need to go from there, and then rebuild a new team, just straight out of it, just clear the team off and then start again. So I'll do that, like, one by one by one, but it makes it take a lot longer to actually get through all of this, because you're not just, you know, battling all of the events down immediately. You have to do, like, all the maintenance little by little in between. It's kind of like, imagine feeding in your characters every time you finish a multi. And then if you get a new character, you go feed it in, and then you kind of go back in, right? So it does take a little bit longer to do it that way. But it's a surefire way to be more organized, so I don't accidentally make any mistakes with it, just because this is such a finite resource, right? And like, I've never actually done it before, I guess, unless I just did it and didn't realize, but prior to this video, I've never done it before where I've accidentally, you know, run it again and, like, wasted a set of keys on a team that was already link level 10. I don't think I've ever done that before, so, okay, that one is done. Alright, we are almost there. We are almost there. Perfect. Getting very down to the wire here. We are also going to do the box maintenance part of this. So there's one other thing that we've got to do here. Obviously, you know, with us being like finished link leveling, this was a pertinent task to take care of anyway, just to be truly finished link leveling, right? But there's another reason why it's important for us to get this done now. And this is the specific reason why we're going to show off the box maintenance part of things. Because we have a lot of TUR characters here. There are a bunch of them. We've had multiple on every single one of these teams. In fact, these last couple of teams are made up entirely of TURs. So, as you know, there are a lot of units that have different links at their unawakened phase, you know, states as they do from their, like, transcended awakenings. And reversing is about to be removed in a couple of weeks. We're about to not be able to do that anymore. While it is a good quality of life change for the game and is going to be updating some of the systems, making it a little bit less convoluted for players to be able to, you know, alter their units in whatever ways you can, it's also going to prevent you from ever being able to move a unit backwards to then link level the links that they have in their unawakened forms. So that's what we need to make sure to do here in this video. Once we finish all of these characters, we are going to go through all of the TURs, we're going to double check all of their base SSR forms, and then whichever ones have different links at the SSR form, we're going to reverse them, we're going to feed in link skill orbs to get them all the way up to link level 10, and then we're going to unreverse them and get them back to their TUR states where they should be at. So yeah, I think that sounds like a good plan. This is something that I have done for years, and it was always just like this side niche part of the game that didn't really call for any interaction or attention as far as a YouTube video is concerned, but the fact that this is actually going away, and this is going to be a relic of my account, I did want to make sure to include the fact that I've got this. I think this is something that might end up making a difference when I'm, like, done link leveling. Like, when I have my full extra 1,000 character slots that I've got right now filled out, and then all those characters are link leveled as well, right? Because I know, just because of this whole situation that has arisen in the community, it's led a lot of people to talk about this, especially people who are hardcore link levelers, to talk about whether they have gone the extra mile to reverse their characters and get the extra links on them over time. I know a couple of people right now that have not done that, and so what they're doing right now is they're pausing on their normal link leveling, and they're now going back and double checking a ton of units that may have different links in their unawakened forms, and then they're going and link leveling them, because you're about to not be able to ever do that again, right? So, yeah, people are, like, shoring up that weakness. Fortunately for me, I did that along the way. So all of my units are done in that way. I don't have to worry about that kind of thing. Okay, is this it? Is this the last one? Yep. And then there. All right, cool. We are about to be donezo here. Sweet, sweet. Oh no, the cord, dude. Ugh. I do plan on doing some showcases today. We've got a really important one. Obviously, the done being link leveling showcase. We definitely have to get that one done. And I really, really hope these cord issues go away by then. The problem is I want to record it directly after we're finished with this video, so that could be problematic. We'll see. We'll see. Might have to give my computer a little bit of time to just wake up. Because I swear to you, it's not actually a cord issue. It happens infrequent enough that I don't think it's a cord issue. It also, like I said, I've noticed that it happens right when I turn on my computer. Like, if I boot up my computer for the day, and then the first task I do with my computer is, like, open up all my YouTube recording stuff and start going, usually I'll have these flickering issues for a little bit. But then, this issue 100% never happens if my computer has been on for, like, more than an hour. This just does not ever happen. So it feels like it's a computer-related thing. Which would make sense to blame it on my PC, because my PC is not great. It is a very, very old, ancient relic with a lot of heavily used parts at this point. Not well-maintained parts, and generic parts that don't even really have, like, specs. That might sound weird to you, but I promise it's true. Okay, so that is all of the characters. Before we go ahead and double check our profile to see what our new power level is, we do want to go ahead and go in the box and handle all the maintenance first, right? just because we're going to get more power level if we level up more links this way, so that we can actually see the final number of it. Okay, so the first thing that we got to do is we got to take all the SSRs and SRs, because these ones are unawakened, so these ones do not, like, we can't reverse them, we can't change them or anything, they just sit in this form, so we know all these ones are done. There's no other forms they can possibly get anything from. So really quick, I'm just going to go through here and take all of these ones off the 9 tag. So there's no real reason for me to do that on camera. I'm going to do a quick cut and get rid of all these units. Okay, so all of the SRs and SSRs are gone out of there. Obviously, there are no normals or rares either. So now we just have the URs and LRs left. Okay, so now the next step that we can do is we can take off all of these guys. Because, you know, just having link leveled him a bunch, I already know that he doesn't have any additional links, you know, at the unawakened state down here. All of his links are up here at the top awakening level, so we can get rid of him, and then the exact same goes for the Hercule Boo. There's no additional links down here, so we're going to go ahead and take off all of those ones real quick, and then we will deal with the rest. So let me go ahead and make one more cut, we'll do that, and then we'll jump into the rest here. Okay, there we go. So now we're down to the last little bit here. These are all the units that we have to check on. Oh, by the way, there was another thing that I realized I did not mention that I probably should. Just a kind of a cool little, like, tips and tricks thing for when you have a bunch of 9s that you gotta fill out like that. So obviously, you know, we went through and built a bunch of teams, but how did we actually... What did we do to make sure that we didn't, like, miss out on any units and that we actually had every unit covered here? What we did, I mean, obviously the simplest thing you can do is just go in order in your box and then just go unit by unit so that you don't miss anything. Obviously, I went a little bit more spicy with it and dispersed where, like, the SSRs versus the URs were and stuff like that. So what we did at the end was I went to the Cell tab here, and then I just went over to 9s and made sure they all said in deck. Because if they don't say in deck, that means they weren't placed on a team, and then you know they're still sitting in here. So we do have these 2 units here that were not put in a deck. Because they were the extra ones that we were talking about, right? So we're gonna have to use link skill orbs on those 2 gentlemen coming up in just a moment here. But yeah, that was kind of the strat I used to make sure I had everyone on team. Now, the one thing this isn't gonna allow you to do is see if you've put the same unit on multiple teams, right? You could have accidentally doubled up a unit. This won't tell you that at all, but it will indicate if you've missed out on anything in your box. And at first my numbers were off by 1 and I was like, wait, what's going on? And then I realized LRTN had been skipped because he was an LR. I was going to do something different with him at the end and then just forgot about him in there, and he wasn't in a deck. So that was a good way to kind of double check on that. Okay, so now we've got a bit of a situation. Okay, let's do this thing. So now this is basically, it's gonna take a little bit, but I'm gonna show you guys basically the way that I do this. So every unit has 2 columns of links. You're gonna have the left side and the right side. Okay, the 7th link is almost never something you need to pay attention to, because if it's a TUR, free to play or something like that, they're usually going to have Shattering the Limit. If it's a summonable character that, you know, awakens with like a Dokkan event medal, it's going to have Fierce Battle. Neither of those links will ever be on a character in their unawakened forms when they have it in their awakened form, because that's literally what the link is there for. It means that they got their awakening. So those links, you never have to double check whether they're going to be down at the lower level. Same goes for Legendary Power on an LR. Obviously, the Legendary Power link skill is only going to be there at the LR level, and you'll never have to double check that at the TUR or SSR level. So, that being said, we can essentially look at this as though there are 6 links here. So what I like to do is I like to go down the left column, Innocent, Solid Support, Shocking Speed. Then, oh, also, I guess setting it up this way, I'm not here, and then in the detail list where I have to look down here. I am here, and then I use the little arrows to scroll over and get them listed this way. This is kind of an important detail. So, Innocent, Solid Support, Shocking Speed. We go to Growth, we come here, same thing. Now we can look at them. Innocent, Solid Support, Shocking Speed. So we know the left side's exactly the same. Now, here, we look at the right side. Brainiac's Cold Judgment, Godly Power. And then now when we go back, Brainiac's Cold Judgment, Godly Power. The reason why we select, you know, we do it in this little toggle menu is because when we came back from looking at the unawakened version, we were still right here where we were able to see the links again. If you go to the detail list, if you're here and you go to the detail list, and look at the links here. Now you have to go back. You're here again. You go to growth. You look at the old card, and then when you come back into looking at the regular one, you're here again, and you have to go back into the detail list. It's just more steps. It's, in my opinion, more steps. So we know that she is good to go. She's got all of her same links, so we will take her off 9s. Let's do the next. Oh, goodness. Please stop it with the cord issues, please. Okay. So Kawaii, we've got the Innocence, Coward, Battlefield Diva. The Innocence, Coward, Battlefield Diva. And then it was Flea. Oh, I went too quick for my own good. Flea and Fighter Tournament of Power. Okay, perfect. She is done. Take her off 9s. And then go next. And now with this, that's the other thing, is with this little menu up, you can just use the left and right arrows in the middle of the screen here to toggle between the characters, and it will keep this menu up. So it's really, really easy to check them all back to back. Okay, Experienced Fighters, Tough as Nails, Solid Support. Alright, Experienced Fighters, Tough as Nails, Solid Support. Brainiac's Cold Judgment, Tournament of Power. Brainiac's Cold Judgment, Tournament of Power. Okay, cool, cool. They are good to go. Experienced Fighters, Cold Judgment, Solid Support. It's like the same link set. Experienced Fighters, Cold Judgment, Solid Support. Courage, Brainiac's Tournament of Power. Yep, perfect. They are good to go. Loyalty, Tough as Nails, Kame. Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna let the cord issues ride. Like, screw it at this point, honestly. Loyalty, Tough as Nails, Coward. Metamorphosis, BBB, More Than Meets the Eye. Metamorphosis, BBB, Fear and Faith. Ah, okay, so we did just find one here. So he's got More Than Meets the Eye instead of Fear and Faith as an SSR. So let's go ahead and reverse him. Reverse him up here. Boom, boom. And then we'll go to link skill level up. We could see it was highlighted because there is additional links. Oh, it was also Coward. There was 2 links there. Okay, perfect. So then, yeah, we'll use the activate all here to get those going. Perfect. Those are up to level 10, and then now we need to reverse him back because we already had one at the SSR state. So we will reverse him back up. Boom, boom. And then now he's good. We got to go back into the growth tab because that was in the reverse section. And then now we know he's done. We can take him off 9s. Okay. Holy moly, dude. The cord issues are just going absolutely bonkers today, aren't they? This is insane. Really quick, I'm just going to unplug everything and then plug it in. This is, like, massively annoying right now. Okay. They also seem to hit a little bit harder when I'm, like, tapping the screen a lot and, like, doing a lot of things in menus rather than just, like, playing a fight and then it's on auto and I'm not really touching the phone or anything. I feel like that makes a huge difference. Okay. Godly Power, Solid Support, More Than Meets the Eye. Godly Power, Solid Support, More Than Meets the Eye. Cold Judgment, Gentleman, Brainiacs. Okay, they are good to go. The Innocent, Solid Support, Shocking Speed. The Innocent, Solid Support, Shocking Speed, Brainiacs, Cold Judgment, Godly Power. Okay, she is done. And now, a lot of these units, it might seem like really repetitive or redundant that I'm doing this, or like unnecessary, because obviously Vados is the exact same at the Awakening level as the Unawakened level, and usually speaking, it's going to be that there is some type of transformation or a unit change between, you know, like the name of the unit between the TUR and SSR level if they have different links. But that's not always the case. Sometimes there are those outlier situations that they can change even if the character's name doesn't change, especially on like ancient units. So that's why we're double checking all these. I thus far have double checked every single unit that I've ever link leveled, so we might as well continue the trend all the way here to the end. Okay, Heroes of Justice, Cold Judgment, Supreme Power. Hero of Justice, Cold Judgment, Battlefield Diva. Okay, Champion Strength, Money, Money, Money. Yep, so she gets 3 different links at the Unawakened level because there's no Gohan there. Makes sense, so let's go ahead and reverse her. Perfect. Link skill level up. Awesome. Got 3 more there. Boom. Those are all maxed out. Take her back to the TUR state. And then now we can jump back in. How many more do we got? A lot? Okay, perfect. Okay, 9s. They are good to go. Alright. Super Saiyan, Solid Support, prepared for battle. Battlefield Diva, 6, Tournament of Power. Okay. Brutal Beatdown, Shocking Speed, BBB. Okay, Nightmare Prodigy's Fuse Fighter. Perfect. Courage, Saiyan Lineage, Super Saiyan. Here's one for sure. All in the Family GT, same race. Yep. Usually this is a big indicator that they're going to change links too. If there's a Super Saiyan in the Awakened form and an Un-Super Saiyan, a non-Super Saiyan in the base form, then usually you're going to see some switch-ups with things like Saiyan Lineage, All in the Family, right? Super Saiyan, things like that are going to change up quite a bit on the card. Kamehameha can kind of go on and off frequently. That can be a thing. So yeah, let's go ahead and reverse him. We'll get those extra links going. How many was that? 2. Innocence and Saiyan Warrior Race. Okay, perfect. And we'll reverse him back. Oops, wrong place. Here we go. Please! Oh my goodness. There we go. Okay, we'll take him off 9s. Okay, I think we have sufficiently showed off the concept we were trying to go for here. Oh, let me go ahead and do this, just for compliance real quick, to actually get these guys done. We'll throw, he's not going to have Shattering the Limit in base, so let's just go ahead and do his Link skill level up now. Do all those. Perfect, and then I'll double check if he had any at the SSR level when I double check the rest of them. Same with this guy. Let's go ahead and do this. Oh wait, I want to double check his now because he might have all 4 of these links in base as well. So like if the only unit that, or if, for example, if the only link here that were to change between this form and the other form is Kamehameha, then it would make sense for me to do the Link skill level up with him in the reverse state. It doesn't really make a difference, it just saves a step. Golden Warrior Super Saiyan prepared for battle. Okay, Saiyan Warrior Race, Z Fighters, and Kame. Okay, so he does have the exact same link set. We are good to go there. Then I am going to Link skill level him up. There we go. Perfect, and because we checked his links, we know we can take him off 9s. There we go. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these on my own real quick, just because we are getting at a little bit of a lengthy video here already. So let me finish these up really quick, that way I can make sure we have milked every little bit of power level we can out of these characters, and then to end the video off, we will go right back to the profile, and we will see just how high my power level is now. Alrighty, there we go. We have finished all of the characters. Actually, kind of regretting my decision to do that without recording it, because literally there were so many more in the second half of the characters that we checked there. It was like almost every single character had at least one link that we had to change up. We did get quite a few more, you know, through with that. But yeah, is what it is. In fact, for those of you that like maybe microscopically care at all, we can go like this. You can see how many link skill orbs I have comparative to the last one that I recorded on camera. I don't even know what the difference is of that, but if you care at all to go and double check, you can see exactly how many links I just leveled up, knowing that each one that goes to 10 is going to subtract 1 of these right here. So you could just, oh, I guess 2. Each one's going to subtract 2, right? Or, no, I'm sorry, because the links are going from level 1 all the way up to 10, it's 3, because you have to get 1 of them for the level 8 link, and then 2 for the level 9 to go to 10, right? So, 3 of these per, so you could just do the math and see exactly how many more links I just filled out, but it was quite a few. Okay, so the other thing that I was going to mention here is the reason why this B-Pan is still sitting here. So this was, you know, I've obviously already finished the full lineage of B-Pan, but the fact that this update is about to go through, which is going to take all the cards I have reversed and, you know, re-forcibly awaken them, it means that my previous TUR copy of Pan that has been already awakened to LR and reversed is going to be another LR B-Pan. And if I do decide to go regrind all these cards that get, you know, moved out of the slot they're supposed to be in, one of the hardest ones to grind would be B-Pan, because she, you know, you can only get a finite amount of these cards. It would take weeks and weeks and weeks to farm up a new copy of her to be able to do this. And I already had a bunch of copies of her sitting in my box. So rather than sell her off like all of the other fodder characters that I've gotten rid of recently in order to be able to make my box nice for showcases, I decided to just keep the copy of her so that she'll be ready. And then I link level 10'd her in the TUR phase. But this is what I'm doing. I am not going to awaken her to LR. On purpose. Because this will be the singular unit in my box that serves as like just an example for compliance sake to make sure of what this update is actually going to do. So what we're going to do here, and because you can see right now that the awaken option is available, I could awaken her to an LR, which means she's never been awakened to an LR. The highest awakening phase that she has ever been on is TUR right here. So what we're going to do with her is we're going to reverse her down to SSR, and then after the update goes through, we're going to double check this BPAN and make sure that she is only at the TUR awakening. Obviously, that makes the most sense. That is verbatim how they laid it out, that the update is going to go, is that any units that are reversed will go back, they said, to their maximum awakening levels. But I guess maybe it was a bit unclear of whether that meant the maximum possible awakening for that card, or if it means the max level that you've previously awakened them to, right? So just while it does make sense that it would be the latter, we're just gonna be able to fact check and prove that with this BPAN right here, because obviously all of the other units in my box would not be relevant for that because they've all just been awakened to the max anyway. So yeah, this will be that one unit that we'll hang on to, that we'll see if you know, she only awakens to the TUR once that update goes live. Okay, well, are we ready? Let's go ahead and see it. Where did this power level get to? 25.18. Nice. In fact, right before we finish up here, I think the very last thing we can do is take a look at the power level leaderboard and then just see where that puts me, because obviously that was a huge jump that we just had, so that could be quite interesting to see if that kind of shakes anything up. Okay, do that, and then this. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So obviously, yeah, still at the top of global. Okay, yeah, so Truth is at 25.8. So I still do have a little while to go to catch up to him. I was kind of hoping that all of this stuff was going to happen all at once, of, you know, me finishing link leveling and everything, and then, passing Truth and stuff. I thought that with this bout of 9s it would happen, but obviously just upon getting here to this point, I realized, like, oh yeah, I'm still a little bit farther behind him, so I'll have to do a little bit more grinding to get there, but we definitely can make it. So yeah, there we go. We have passed 25 million power level. Very, very sick stuff, and we're basically done link leveling now, so, well, you know, like I said, not entirely. We still have a long way to go before we're actually done, but we have hit that next milestone, right? Okay, well, that is basically everything that I've got for you guys. I did not expect that video to be this long. Holy moly. Well, if you are still here kicking it, then thank you so much for joining me today. That's going to do it for this one, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.